Welcome to Salento with Love. I'm Davide Mengoli and I'm just crossing the road. So what a better way of starting a video, crossing the road. I'm with Stephen and we're going to be probably spending a few hours together today. And the best way of starting the day is with a coffee. Well, if you're in Italy, just do it like the Italians. So we're going to start with a coffee. And we'll be doing some videos for you, some videos for me, and perhaps talking about the experience of purchasing a house in Italy. I think this morning I was a bit overdressed actually. It's like it's warm.
Oh, you look fabulous. Always ready for a client.
Great. So let's go and have a coffee first. So now we can definitely start the day. Well, no, you still got your cappuccino. So people think I'm not Italian because, you know, I have my long coffee with milk, and so no Italian, you know, having but it's just like having a cappuccino for dinner is illegal.
It should be.
It should be, because some people think it's illegal to have a cappuccino. You know, you can get arrested in certain parts of Italy. You can get arrested for having a cappuccino for dinner. It's interesting because since we met, I think back in November, no, it was probably October 2020.
Yes.
You've been able to accomplish your dream, which was purchasing a house. You have now become the Lord of Galatone. And you've got your own YouTube channel. And it's fantastic. And I must admit, it's great to see somebody who has passion and drive, you know, to tell other people about how beautiful it is to go through the process of purchasing a property.
No, you made it quite easy, and I think that was really the key for me, is trying to understand, you know, how I can make this happen, being in the United States, and you know, during COVID, and trying to negotiate all of that. And acquire a property. So you know, it took a bit of time, but all in all, it was very easy.
It's interesting because I think the time that it took for you was mainly because there was some sort of aligning, if you remember, on the cadastral that needed to be done, and we made sure that happened before you completing, because a lot of the people tend to buy the property and then go through that process afterwards. What's today? 15th of January. Beautiful sunshine. I'm definitely overdressed, and it's just fantastic. That's probably one of the reasons why you've chose this part of the world.
You know, it's market day in Galatone, so
oh yes,
you know, it's a busy beehive of activity here. So there's always something interesting going on. I think that's one of the things about the Salento, with so many towns. There's a market in some town every day. There's a festival in some town every week, if not almost every day. And not to mention, you know, the art and the music. And I've just begun to look around, and I haven't seen a tiny fraction of what there is to offer.
And on another note, what sparked you to start your own YouTube channel? Because I'm very, very curious to hear about that, and I'm a big fan of your channel actually.
A lot of it was the interest of friends and family that were intrigued by, you know, how I managed to make this all happen. And now that I owned a house, how am I going to, you know, manage it, deal with it, fix it up, and so that was the primary thing, just to be able to share the experience with other people.
Yeah.
And knowing that many other people are looking at acquiring properties and would be interested in, you know,
yeah,
where I get materials, you know how you just go about doing the things you would do in your own country pretty easy.
But yeah, it's interesting because the journey that you've chosen potentially is not the journey that a lot of my clients are choosing, but it's a fantastic journey. The idea of picking up something, I know that you've given yourself quite a number of years to complete the process, and also, I mean, that's kind of understandable because every time you come here, you have a limited amount of time. There's only so much you can do in that period of time, and so it doesn't have to take 4, 5, 6, 7 years to refurbish a property. It can be done in a much faster. But that's a process that you've chosen, and that's a process that a lot of people that buy properties in different countries, could be Italy, Spain, Portugal, decide to go. You know, the path of feeling it themselves and doing it themselves and kind of growing with the property. So it's kind of a magic journey as well.
It's for me that's the fun, I think. Plus, it gives you a much faster connection to not just your house, but to the entire area, because you have to go out and you have to find things, and you have to, you know, invariably meet people, and you have to go to the hardware store. You have to, you know, you have to sort all this stuff out. You know, that's the part that I really enjoy. Just getting out and exploring the area, as not just as a, you know, because I'm here on vacation, but because, you know, there's real purpose.
And you tend to learn so much. I mean, personally, I can say, if anyone is watching the channel, subscribe to the channel, press the little bell. But anyone who knows me from my previous kind of life, you know, being an art dealer in London and owning a beautiful building in London. I bought a derelict building in London, number 43 Denmark Hill, if you want a Google map, in Camberwell. And it took me 12 years from when I bought that property to actually bring it to full splendor, while I was actually working and running it as a gallery as well. So anyone who knows me and probably follows the channel may probably put a little comment about that. And I must say, I have a huge respect for what you're doing, because it's kind of a journey, and through the journey you tend to learn so much.
The important thing is you still need help, right, from other people.
Well, of course.
And so, you know, Salento would love, you know, providing, you know, options for you know, getting contractors to do some of the more complicated bits. I mean, I'm not a mason, so if I have to, you know, do anything structural or anything like that, obviously, you know, I want some experts, and you know, to have your services on my side is
right.
Was a really important thing. It wasn't there's care after the sale, and you know, that was also really important.
Yeah,
being able to know that you know, I didn't just buy the house and then now what.
Interesting what you were saying, because when I was talking about my own experience, it didn't take me 12 years with me doing it physically. Of course, I used builders, plumbers, but I modulated the project to cater for my budget, for my timing, and in the end I actually achieved an incredible result. Some people perhaps put the foot on the accelerator and they can actually achieve what you're going to achieve in years, within 6 months or a year, but
right.
Still the same. But in your case, it's a journey. So for everyone who wants to modulate the project, can also be done. So yesterday also, Stephen was at the notary with me while we were doing a completion, a closure. I don't know what you call it in the US. You call it a closure?
Yeah, it's a closing.
So it was a closing. So we were doing a closing at the notary, and he was there, and the person selling the property was saying that the money that he actually is going to get from the sale of that property is going to use it to fix this up. Have a look.
That's amazing.
So yesterday, yes, we were at the notary with the person who actually owns this and is going to start the project. But it's interesting, he actually paid 8,000 euros, he was saying, for these couple of rooms here. But really,
It's amazing.
what he really bought, he bought a piece of history. So yeah, you probably over the years as you're coming through, you're going to see this coming alive and being totally refurbished.
Yeah, how could you not want to buy, you know, every
Yeah.
one of these that they're but that's the point. So in a big part of my decision to move forward was I wasn't really ready to spend a tremendous amount of time here. I'm not retiring for a number of years, but it didn't make sense to wait. And perhaps let some really nice properties, you know, pass by, and see properties appreciate in value, and then spend a considerable more amount, you know, years from now.
Yeah.
So now was a really good time.
So now you have the property. You
Yeah.
can just be back in Houston, chill out, relax, and pay a few €100 a year just keeping that property there, and at least you've capitalized.
Right.
And this is the thing that I can't stress enough. You know, a lot of people reach out to me and they say, Davide, what do you have to show us? And I say, nothing and everything at the same time, because there's so much out there. And one of the things that we do, we just search around. In your case, we've talked about this a lot. You're a researcher, so you've done an incredible amount of research. So my work of going and inspecting the property was just that little bit of an extra thing that you needed just to make that final decision. But in majority of the cases, we actually do the research and identify the area, do the research, do the inspection and the advice before you move forward. So that was a nice stroll down the road.
You know, it's a nice stroll, you know, every time. I mean, it's the passeggiata, right?
Yeah, and we are sitting on a well, or probably a cistern. And well,
Shall we make a wish?
yeah, the wish is that for the wall not to collapse, and but amazing if I just see the elements around us. Not wonder why you've decided to own a piece of real estate. So we've spoken about a few things. I can't even remember what we talked about. You know, all my videos are always like very spontaneous. Probably that's what I like about your videos as well. They are very spontaneous. So we never know what we are doing really. I met a guy yesterday. Well, you met the same guy yesterday. He's 72 years old, and he said, I don't really know what I want to do in my life. And you know, it's something similar. I don't really know what I like doing in my life, but I just love what I'm doing in my life. So I love this. I love the opportunity through remote purchasing that I have created, that has allowed people like Stephen to be here in Salento.
Don't wait. It doesn't matter. Don't wait till you're 50, 60, 72. Doesn't matter.
And
you can start now, and you can start, you know, building, you know, the dream that you want. And it really can happen. And there's people you can trust. There are the processes there to protect you, and you can find some really fabulous properties.
yeah, and the budget sometimes is obviously the big.
Well, can I tell the joke you told me?
Yeah.
So he says I was the alpha remote viewing client, and so I sent Davide an email, and it was pretty descriptive, and I gave him a budget of €25,000, all in, fees and everything. And the first words he said on the Zoom call was, so did you miss a zero? Was it 250,000? You know, it can't possibly be 25,000. And I did require a bit of urging along the way to be flexible a bit with my budget, but you know, I got a great property, and that would be my recommendation to anybody, is be a bit flexible. You know, not just be flexible with location and price. Don't be flexible with really what is important on your list, because you can find it. You know, you don't want to have regrets, and I certainly don't. I got everything on my list, and it's in a fabulous town, and it's everything I wanted.
Just like you did, you had exactly a structure. You asked the right question. How much are the legal fees? How much are your fees? How much is the property that we're going to get? And how much is to look after the property? So it's very important to work that out. And then it doesn't matter. It could be 30, it could be 300, it could be 3 million, whatever it is. The process remains the same. All I'll say is subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you subscribe to Casa Stefano. because you'll see some incredible things. Also, he does all the things that I don't have time to do. He walks to the local market. He takes his plane from Houston to Rome, train from Rome to Lecce, train from Lecce to Galatone, just to show you how easy it is to get to your destination. So thanks very much for watching. Thanks very much for subscribing to Casa, Stefano and Salento with Love, and stay safe wherever you are.